Hi, everyone. Welcome to Potluck Food Talks. Today, we're going to talk about what was the name of the episode, too?
Munchies and drunken antidotes.
Okay. So, do you have like any pre-drunkenness thing that you eat before you get drunk?
Well, I don't know. I don't really think so. Like, I definitely notice it. You know, it's weird because like I feel like I notice it that like I get drunk much more quickly if I haven't eaten anything. But I heard recently that that's actually not true at all, that it doesn't matter like how much you eat.
I don't believe that at all.
I don't believe that at all, yeah.
I mean, that's like an empiric fact for me. Like, if I have an empty stomach, I'll be drunk like in 5 minutes.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I always try to eat sort of like carby things, you know, like potatoes or bread or something like that. And probably usually like some sort of meat also.
Already, I go completely into proteins, like lots of meat.
But isn't that just your normal diet anyway? You know?
No, that will be like my pre-drunk diet.
It's like, oh, I'm going out to drink. Let me just have this, you know, platter of jamon iberico just to get ready.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I don't know. I have like much more things that like I go to when I'm already drunk, like after I've been drinking. But I don't really have like a pre-party ritual, you know?
Well, while being drunk, I think anything comes into play.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of. But somehow, I don't know, like for sure, you also have these like recipes that you only ever seem to make when you like come home at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ah, yeah, of course. In my case, that would be quesadillas.
Quesadillas?
Yeah, quesadillas with cheese and mushroom.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, sort of like I think cheese is like a general sort of thing that it just always works, you know?
Yeah, even like just cheese directly from the fridge.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like definitely my go-to is like when I make lasagna, I always like make way too much. And there's no like greater joy than coming home and being sort of like, oh, fuck, you know, like I really want to eat something. And every place is closed already. And then you look in the freezer or in the fridge and you still have like some lasagna left and you're like, oh my God, yes. And you just bang it into the oven. And then I just kind of like cover it in olive oil and chili flakes just to make it even more kind of like artery closing.
Well, stuff you eat in the street, like pizzas and burgers. I think that's also pretty. I mean, if anything, it's open. Donors for sure, kebabs.
I think kebab is the ultimate drunk food, you know? It's like, you know, which I don't like to say because it kind of like goes into kind of bastardizing kebabs as, you know, being something else than like this like beautiful art form of cooking. You know, I mean, like kebab culture is so amazing, but like a lot of people just think of like cheap kebabs that they get when they're really, really drunk, which is a shame, you know, but there's just nothing better. I mean, we said it before, like kebab is just the perfect food. You know, you've got some bread, you've got some meat, you've got salad, you've got some yogurt, you've got everything. Sorry.
Sneeze interruption. Yeah. So what about hangover foods?
Well, hangover foods like,
well, first of all, do you eat something before going to bed while being drunk?
Yeah, always. If I can, always. Like, I feel like it's probably a really bad thing to do, but it just makes me feel a little bit better.
No, I actually think it's like an anti-hangover pre-antidote, eating at least something before going to bed. And drinking lots of water as well.
Yeah, water for sure. I think there's no doubt that drinking lots of water is really good for you. But eating like a plate of fucking spaghetti that's, you know, way bigger than your actual nutritional needs are at 2 o'clock in the morning, right before laying down. I don't think that that's very healthy at all. But still, I do it every time, you know? I mean, that's one of my go-tos, like hangover things, especially if I haven't done any shopping and like I come home, there's nothing there. What's always there? There's always olive oil. There's always pasta. There's always chili flakes. And if you're lucky, there's also still a bit of Parmesan in the fridge, you know, maybe even just a rind that you can still sort of fucking grate a little bit more of. So what do you make? You make, you know, pasta aglio olio, which is one of the best pastas in the world if you make it right. But usually when you come home at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're not making it right. You're just making a big, oily, garlicky, chili mess. But it feels good, you know. It makes you happy. I mean, that's really what food's supposed to do, no?
Well, in my case, as I said, I do wheat flour quesadillas, and that's just, you know, basically a sandwich with cheese. I add some oregano and slices of mushrooms. That's it. You know, I cook the mushrooms and everything else is just just like a sandwich, and that's it.
Quesadilla is basically a sandwich, is something that we definitely need feedback on from Mexicans. It's basically just a sandwich, you know?
Well, first of all, I don't know if quesadillas are Mexican or one of those American things that you see in Tex-Mex restaurants, like burritos, you know? And I know that there are also different meanings for quesadillas and different, I know here in Spain, there's something completely different.
I think quesadillas are like very Mexican.
Yeah? Okay.
I've seen lots of street stalls with quesadillas, especially with like just with queso Oaxaca and zucchini blossoms, you know?
Yeah.
And mushrooms also, or huitlacoche also, you know? It's very good.
But it is actually, right? Like
yeah.
Sandwich with you asshole.
Yeah, basically.
Like, did I say something wrong?
I can't judge, you know. I'm only 1/16th Oaxacan, so I have no judgment here.
So going back to the hangover antidotes, I remember once working in a restaurant and I was feeling like really, really bad. And this waiter, the barman, he gave me something. He said, "This is disgusting, but after you're drinking it, you're going to feel better." So and it was like a brown drink with ice. So I drink it and it was really fucking disgusting. But it was like magic. Like 2 minutes later, I was like, the hangover was gone. I felt good. Life was beautiful. I was like, what the fuck was this? And basically it was like a Bloody Mary with not so much gin and an espresso into the Bloody Mary.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds brutal.
Yeah. That was the best. But usually my go-to hangover antidote is gazpacho. Like,
oh yeah, that's
like
a very good one.
Like the gazpacho you buy in the supermarket. Yeah, I drink like a whole liter of it.
Yeah, that's really good. That kind of reminds me of, it's not a hangover antidote, but it kind of prevents it a little bit. We used to drink these things while we were drinking, and I feel like they would kind of like keep us alive a little bit, called picklebacks. You know, pickleback?
Is it like this hydrating salt? Something like that?
No, it's like a little shot that you get, and it's like 1 part whiskey, 1 part the liquid from pickled cucumbers, from pickles.
Okay.
Sounds disgusting, but it's actually like, it actually works quite well. And it's kind of like sour and salty but like still booze. And it just kind of like kicks you back into place. And yeah, they have their own appeal. They're kind of cool. They're kind of nice.
I've seen something similar that is actually Mexican. It's like this little mixture of, I don't know, like tamarind with spices. And also has chili. I don't remember the name, but it's also something like a really strong spicy thing you drink if you're really, really drunk, just to get a kick back to life.
Yeah, but then again, in Mexico, they have a lot of stuff like that. I mean, like, you know, have you ever heard of Toques, the game?
No.
Toques in Mexico?
No.
Okay, so this is a very very quintessential Mexican pastime when you are drinking. So you'll be in a bar or in a pulqueria or a mezcaleria or whatever, you know, and then a guy will come by carrying a car battery, and he'll say, "Hey, who wants to play Toques?" And so he gives you and a friend a metal sort of bar that's attached to a wire that's attached to the battery, and you and your friend have to hold this bar in your hand. And he slowly turns up the voltage on the battery. And so you're getting shocked, electrocuted, basically, more and more and more until one of you like lets go, which, you know, sounds insane. It is insane. You know, it's crazy, but like it's a really common game, like in this, well, definitely in Mexico City when I was living there. But then again, it's kind of like, you know, when you're really, really drunk.
But was at the end of the game, the one who drops has to drink, or?
Well, depends what you decide, you know, or you just lose, you know, and it's just like everybody just laughs, you know, that you're like electrocuted. But that'll kind of wake you up, you know, just being attaching yourself to a car battery. That's kind of an antidote.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that worked. I remember in Bolivia, it was quite common to have ceviche.
Oh, yeah.
For your hangover.
Ah, super good.
That's also that's also like a super good choice.
Yeah, like leche de tigre, drinking leche de tigre. It's kind of like, you know, the same concept as drinking gazpacho when you're hungover.
And sometimes I'll order like a Pokeball, but I guess that's just like a guilty conscience wash. Just feeling I'm eating something healthy after everything I've done.
Yeah.
the night before.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, sort of like salty, like fish, it's just like, it's really good. Like for me, for example, when I'm super hungover and I need to eat something, I love eating like really kind of salty, fresh food. Like one of my favorite things is boquerones, which are these sort of like sardines, sort of like on top of like pan tomaca, just like toasted bread, grated tomato, a bit of, olive oil, salt. And it's like, it gives you the energy that you need to survive the oncoming day.
That's it for this week's episode of Potluck Food Talks. If you like what we're doing, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok as Potluck Food Talks. The show airs every Monday.